looking over his left shoulder, noticing that. Bure takes no chances. We'll get a whistle.
Young Oleg Tverdovsky, the Mighty Ducks' first-round draft pick in the 1994 entry draft. He's also got that first National Hockey League goal out of the way the other night in Dallas. Might be the only positive thing you could take out of that game in Dallas. Needs to really make better decisions with the puck. He has to decide when the opportunity is right to jump into the offense and when he really should recognize that it's a risky situation and hang back and just stick to playing defense. For the rebound, they get even a third whack at that one, and Tverdovsky manages to stick-handle his way out of some heavy traffic right in front of the net. Good battle by young Oleg Tverdovsky to get that puck out of the zone.
The battle is right as the Ducks get set for the face-off to the left of Bure. Oleg, of course, picking up his first ever NHL goal in the loss in Dallas. But there you see the numbers on Oleg with regards to the rookie scoring race is concerned.
Right.
Gives it up out of the corner. Look at Oleg Tverdovsky. I tell you, this kid 2 strides and he's to the blue line.
He is going to be a great player. Don't ever forget that he's only 18 years old, and if he gets a couple of years under his belt, he's something to watch.
Icing call here as the Detroit Red Wings failed to cross over the red line, and so this 4-on-4 hockey will continue for another 52 seconds.
The Mighty Ducks in the Arrowhead Pond of Anaheim present the ultimate.
Feeds the middle, out front, puck Kozlov in the skate. They score! Oh my goodness! That one couldn't have broken through a wet paper bag, Brian, but I'll tell you, Mike Burnett is the most surprised man in the building.
Mighty Ducks versus Chicago Blackhawks.
Bure has been playing some excellent hockey for the Mighty Ducks, and you can see the players glancing up at that clock. Precious 6 seconds, of course, have been ticking away. It seems at this point that they've gone into the character of the leaders on the team.
We played just over 1 minute from the pond in Anaheim, and icing is called on the Kings.
Tverdovsky seems to only play when on Fox games, Kenny. He has not played the last couple of games, but if you saw the game last Sunday against San Jose, Tverdovsky played. The reason being Ron Wilson is trying to ease this young 18-year-old hockey player who has tremendous skill and talent, but has some defensive weaknesses. He's trying to ease them in, so he's going to be a great one for them in the future.
And 10, Oleg Tverdovsky. Number 11, Valeri Karpov. Number 14, Joe Sacco.
The game earlier when the linesman stepped on the right hand, and Todd should be ready for action in about a week or so.
So both sets of players, rather, milling about a little bit as we wait for here. It is home opener. After a strong preseason, picked up a point in the season opener in
Here, you can see those point shots coming in. Great job by Dallas in that last sequence.
in offsides, his pass to Daniel Gauthier.
Tony Horchak getting an opportunity for the Hawks. Oleg Tverdovsky shaking his head behind him. Bobby Corkum.
More play.
One of the things that the Mighty Ducks were going to try to
Now to take your order. Call 714-7...
situation to control that puck out of the blue line. You would expect that he would be pressured at that point. Eventually, the defensemen get a little bit nervous about those players standing around in front of the goal, and indeed, Oleg Tverdovsky is going to get the game at the Jets.
Down a man for the second consecutive time, as Tverdovsky gets the game for holding at 13:37. Mighty Ducks of Anaheim haven't tapped Nikolai Habibulin since early on in this hockey game. They scored at 1:24 on a goal by Paul Kariya, countered with another at 2:44.
Oleg Tverdovsky take a seat on the bench. At what point in this hockey game does Ron Wilson give the green light to the defenseman to get more involved in the offense? Certainly Oleg is looking forward to that.
Good look at your 1995-96 Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, who opened here on the road. And we remind you from here, it's on to Hart. Cutting over, Jared Turka. Oleg Tverdovsky. Left side pass intended for Sean Van Allen.
See that burst of speed from Oleg Tverdovsky? Man, his first 3 strides are just so powerful. He just pulls away from people.
If you're behind him, you're sucking in a vapor trail. I guarantee you that. Of course, was the beneficiary of a big multi-year deal during the offseason. Oleg Tverdovsky looking up.
Oleg is the type of guy that Ron Wilson will use more and more in the key situations. this season. Of course, last year, he really kind of spoon-fed Oleg in his introduction into the National Hockey League and protected him somewhat, but now he's being counted on to become an integral part of this hockey club, and he's got to start producing.
But you can definitely see the maturation process taking place, not only in Oleg's game on the ice, but physically. He's really starting to fill out.
So he's going to become a very solid guy by the time he finishes growing, and you have to keep in mind he's only 19 years old. He has the individual skills, and as he learns to adapt to the pace of the National League and make better decisions with and without the puck, he can become a tremendous player.
Oleg saying he's feeling about as comfortable as ever as he peers over the boards, face off to the right. Stepping up is Oleg Tverdovsky out of the corner. Oleg around the check, shoots, and a terrific save by goaltender Nikolai Khabibulin.
Oleg almost had enough time to take one more step out towards the slot area and really improve his angle on the goal. But he feels a little bit of pressure behind. He throws it right up and into the logo of Khabibulin, and you can see that Oleg's a little bit upset with where he put that puck. He didn't make the shot that he was looking for. Oleg Tverdovsky has been labeled as a potentially dominant offensive defenseman, and now it would seem that that potential is close to realization. Tverdovsky has the individual skills of a star in waiting, a terrific skater with a howitzer for a shot who's growing more and more comfortable by the game, much like 22-year-old Daniel Alfredson of the Senators.
For the land of the free.
Plays it in on the backhand. Randy Cunninworth bumped with Bobby Dulles along the backboard. Stripped to the puck by Oleg Tverdovsky. Here comes Anaheim. Up the left side. Tverdovsky getting a rough ride through the neutral zone. We're going to get a whistle. Offsides against the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Great net start to this opening period from Ottawa.
Team is Oleg Tverdovsky, and he's certainly blossoming into a terrific young defenseman. But the thing about Daig is one of his speeds a lot more often, and I think that helps Paul to be a much more effective player.
Shots even at 5 apiece. Ottawa leads the game 1-0 on Kerry Huffman's goal. 5 minutes remain in the opening period as it's played back to the right. Gets an early date with the locker room with 2:39 left here in the opening period as Ron Wilson's Mighty Ducks of Anaheim find themselves trailing in the hockey game. Senators' second goal of the season will skate off, sporting a 1-0 advantage over the Mighty. Sets a new Anaheim mark for the longest goal streak in franchise history, previously held at 4 games by Billy Holder from January 6th.
Point the other day in Montreal, we talked about how this kid has got a rocket. Look how far out in front of the goal crease Don Beaupre is. The Ducks need to get more traffic in front or off to the sides to force Beaupre to play a little bit deeper in that crease.
Tverdovsky again, tees one up on goal. Rebound, hit the side of the net as Bobby
Flowing again, the adrenaline starts flowing, and the results were quite evident in the middle stanza.
Well, stay with us during. Oleg Tverdovsky came into this game, Brian, with a career-high 5, checked at 4 straight games with at least a point. Today he tacks on another, now with 5 games to his credit.
And we talked about it before, how Ron Wilson keeps encouraging Oleg to shoot that puck, 3 shots for Oleg Tverdovsky in that second period. He has such an overpowering shot that if there is any kind of traffic in front of the opposing team's goaltender, he's going to beat him.
You see Charlie trying to look around a post. There's a long shot. They score! Oleg Tverdovsky let fly with the one-timer and sailed it past the shoulder of Don Beaupre. I don't think he ever saw it, and the Ducks have tied the game at 2.
I think there was some traffic that crossed in front of Beaupre's path just as Tverdovsky releases the shot. Judging by his reaction, he never did see this one. We talked about the importance of the draws. There's that one-timer that Oleg has been practicing, and you got to give a lot of credit to Chad Kilger, who makes his way directly towards the Ottawa Senators net. When you get that big wide body in front of the opposing team's goaltender, there's no way he's going to be able to pick up those point shots.
Deja vu.
Oleg Tverdovsky, you saw the celebration off of that goal. Tell you what, every time Oleg gets rewarded with a goal, he's going to be more and more encouraged to let fly with that shot.
Off the backboard, it's caught on the twine, and quickly Dvorsky goes to the whistle. Stoppage in play with 3:25 to go on the clock.
It really is gut check time right now. A little over 3 minutes remaining in the game. The old story. Do you go for the tie, or are you satisfied with that, or do you press ahead for the win?
Well, we're well aware of the fact, Brian. The Ducks have played one overtime game. They won that Wednesday night in Montreal. The Senators, on the other hand, have not played. And the celebration is on here in Ottawa.
Well, this was a win that they just got it out because it wasn't their best performance of the year. They got the big goal when they needed it. They got terrific goaltending all game long, and that really was the difference.
Well, we talked about unlikely heroes throughout the course of this entire road trip, and now David Carpenter up the lone assist. Then the Ducks will come back to knot it up on Oleg Tverdovsky's third of the year at 14:35. Dallas and Sillinger with the helpers, and then the big goal to win it. David Carpenter's first of the year at the 19-minute mark. Sean Van Allen picked up the lone assist, and Brian Oleg Tverdovsky, our great Western player of the game.
But I thought that Tverdovsky was brilliant at both ends of the ice. Not only is he getting the job done in the defensive zone, he has that willingness to shoot the puck. And he got the huge game-tying goal right here, right off the face-off. Sillinger pulls it back, and it's Dallas over to Tverdovsky for the one-timer with Chad Kilker going hard to the net, screening the goaltender. Oleg, that practice is paying off.
Dallas and Sillinger picked up the assist. That would knot the game at 3 apiece. And a reminder, all Mighty Ducks games can be heard on KZY 95.9 FM and the rest of the Mighty Ducks radio network. Mighty Ducks Hockey is produced and directed by Lisa Seltzer. Associate producers Tim Davis and Mark Victoria. And remote facilities provided by Molstar Communications. Once again, your final score behind goals by Mike Sillinger, Oleg Tverdovsky, and David Carper. The Ducks are winner 3-2. For Brian Hayward, this is Chris Masson. Tune in Monday. The preceding has been an exclusive presentation of Disney Sports Enterprises Incorporated. Public skating. Learn to skate classes and youth and adult hockey programs. Anaheim Junior Ducks games are also.
Both Oleg Tverdovsky and Robert Dirk were as a result. Good play by Oleg to shoot that puck right on the ice.
And take the icing call against Anaheim. The high fly come on Winnie's Ducks in the Avalanche. See you here.
Oleg Tverdovsky taking a run at Robert Long. I'm not so sure that Oleg got the better of that little collision.
Coldest beer on ice. Smooth, refreshing Bud Ice, the official beer of the NHL.
And Chris is center ice. Kings can't control the pass. Tverdovsky will touch and take the icing call here against LA. A minute 13 into the third period.
You know that Oleg Tverdovsky will have the green light in this third period to jump up into the play, and he certainly has elevated his game in the last couple of weeks. There it is, a career-high 5-game point streak. I just love the way that Oleg Tverdovsky reacts after the Ducks score a goal when he is on the ice. There is no greater joy for Oleg than mulching the twine at the other end.
Oleg Tverdovsky, a goal and assist, 2 points against Ottawa, his third multi-point game of this season and the fourth of his career. Face off to the and this time for Oleg Tverdovsky. Let's see if we can listen in.
Bell ringer. Best sound in the world for a goaltender. When after you hear that sound, you look behind you, and you notice that the red light is not
Long has an open man. Here comes Sexoli breaking it up. Oh, what a stick save by Diego. And now Kings fans want a penalty on the play, and they won't get it. 41 seconds remain on the Conacher penalty.
Diego reach out with the goal stick and just get enough of that puck to deflect it wide of the net. I think if Yari Curry falls down at that point, probably Van Helmen does call a penalty against Tverdovsky. Give Oleg Tverdovsky an awful lot of credit there because he doesn't step over the line and really put Curry into the end boards, and as a result, there's no penalty called against the Ducks.
25. To the line. Oleg shot deflects way up into the crowd, and once again we'll get a stoppage and play with 3:46 remaining in regulation. Kings on top 4-2.
Well, that was the one puck that Oleg Tverdovsky wishes that he had tried the one-time shot, because just the action of stopping the puck before you shoot it gave the Kings penalty killing unit Robert Long that split second to get out there and deflect it out of play.
Oleg Tverdovsky, 3 goals, 6 assists, 9 points on the season. Oleg Tverdovsky with a burst of speed, shimmies around Trevor Lipton. Now moves to the outside on Cliff running, has to feel back to the line as Patrick Johnson. Vancouver.
Greg Adams is reaping the benefits of playing alongside Pavel Bure. Right now they're trying to exploit young Oleg Tverdovsky. And when Bure comes at you with so much speed, the defender just naturally starts to back off, and that just creates a lot more space, creates passing lanes for Bure to dish off to Adams.
Open. Now he's picked up by Pavel Bure. He and Turner will leave it off for Korea. Korea top of the circle, but by Bure and Dana Thurston. Tries to thread a pass in traffic, intercepted by Bure. He'll peel back, short-handed. Bure 1-on-1. Moves to the outside of David. Crack on a backhand shot from a thrown position right on goal. And Bure is able to make the save. Time for one last power play rush. And here comes Tverdovsky to Korea. Brought in over the line. It steps away by Bure. Top of the breakaway. Here comes Pavel. He's got Adams open on the left side. There's the feed back to Bure. Oh, and it hit the side of the net. Tic-tac-toe passing. Bure to Adams to Bure, but Bure ran out of real estate.
Back the other way. Then he gets slammed right back by his own player. I believe it's Bobby Corcoran, who was trailing
On the playing surface, so we're going to whistle with 2:45 to go in the period.
Oleg Tverdovsky, still, I would say, a very inconsistent performer for the Mighty Ducks. One game he looks absolutely brilliant, and at times the following game he will struggle in the defensive zone. Oleg, 2 goals already in his rookie season in the National Hockey League, and he's starting to shoot the puck from the power on a power play, and that's what makes Coach Ron Wilson very, very happy with Oleg.
Certainly paid off Tuesday night in St. Louis when Oleg collected his second NHL goal on a rocket over the shoulder of Curtis Joseph. Out of the corner, David.
Terrific start to this third period with the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Oleg Tverdovsky jumps in on a couple of chances from the blue line, keeps the puck in play, and that's what Ron Wilson is emphasizing to the young defenseman. You really have to read the play. When are you going to back up? When are you going to take that chance and try and keep the puck in the zone? And Oleg has done an exceptional job of that in the latter part of this hockey game.
Paul Korea blue line as we pick up the action behind the Mighty Duck net.
There's Oleg Tverdovsky. Big hit on Tverdovsky by Pavel Bure. Now that's what you like about Bure. Not only does he do the scoring, he also takes care of himself pretty well physically. That last up.
Backboard, Pavel Bure. Tries to spin away from Oleg Tverdovsky. Couple of tens tied up in the corner. Tverdovsky comes away with the puck. Greg Adams tries to hold him inside the zone on the wing.
They do have a plan B in mind. If they lose the draw, they want Big Steve Ruchin up front to aggressively jump into the corner. They're willing to battle for it behind the net.
The line, and it's going to cost them an offside whistle with 13.3 seconds left in the game.
Thought Oleg Tverdovsky put together a pretty good evening. When he handles that puck, he reminds me so much of Paul Coffey. He's just not consistent yet. Remember, this kid is only 18 years old, and he is going to be a good one.
At center ice,
Tverdovsky, Kirk McLean should be pretty relieved that he gets off the ice with a victory.
So Jeff Portnoy.
Faster than a speeding bullet.
More powerful than a locomotive.
More fun than a barrel of snakes. I hate snakes.
Well, you may hate snakes, Oleg, but you'll love this year's fanfare. The Mighty Ducks present Fanfare at Disneyland on Thursday, April 27th. A special private party where you can meet the players up close, get autographs, and experience the new Indiana Jones adventure all in one great event. Tickets for this exclusive private party are limited and selling fast at the Arrowhead Pod of Anaheim box office, Disneyland, and all Southern California Ticketmaster locations, or charged by phone. 714-740-2000. for the Canucks.
Pretty good sample of why they call this guy the human highlight film. He just overpowers LeBeau in the corner, but watch the explosive strides as Bure takes that puck into the slot area. Stefan LeBeau applying the hook. Good call by the referee, Randy Mitten.
More fun than a barrel of snakes. Like a snake.
Backboards, Oleg Tverdovsky, big pocketed again. Centering feet out front. Joe Senko is there to intercept. All alone is Bure. Offside.
The Southwest Airlines shark hunt number 2 has begun.
On one side and Gary Volk on the other.
And I really like the chemistry we're seeing on
Goals with none. Enough to slow up the play and force the Leafs in offside.
Oleg Tverdovsky makes some of those young mistakes out there on the ice, and another good example of Ducks almost get burned when Tverdovsky gets caught deep in the offensive zone. You have to understand that this young man was probably the best player in the World Junior Tournament for the previous 2 seasons, and he can pretty much do whatever he wanted to out there on the ice and get away with it. You can see that Al Sims quickly takes position behind Tverdovsky to pass along a little bit of information. It can be very confusing for a young man to start in the National Hockey League. I think the defense is the most difficult position to play for a youngster.
Oleg making his first appearance ever against the Leafs, and the Canucks trying to break inside the line with some measure of authority. Throughout.
Oleg Tverdovsky mishandled that flip pass a few minutes ago, Chris. I don't think they play a lot of baseball in the Soviet Union.
Not too many. Gardner blew out his iron. The Ducks are back in business far side. Stefan LeBeau to Tverdovsky. Steps up on the forehand. Drops it off for Krieger. Fires it out wide. They shoot. They score! A shot went wide by John Krieger, but Sean Van Allen was positioned off the right post. That one definitively, Brian, went underneath the crossbar. And the Mighty Ducks are indeed on the board.
Well, not too much doubt about this one. 4 Ducks are pressing towards the Toronto